Live from Pahrump, the Valley of the Dirt People. It's your favorite show on Tuesday night that talks about motorcycles and motorcycle-related products that's live right now. It's called Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. And you're here with me, your host, Jimmy Lewis. We need to answer some questions. So, I need to answer the question, like, which tequila am I going to drink? Which is actually kind of decided already. I hate to spoil it there, Victor, because I can't just get up and walk away. I mean, I could get up and walk away. It is my show. I can do whatever I want. But I could just get up and walk away and then grab a tequila. But I actually preloaded a couple of special ones. If you know what I'm talking about, some special ones. But anyways, this is the show. This is Dirt Bike Test's big show where we talk about motorcycle-related products. I answer your questions. I will have a special guest who probably doesn't exactly know that he's going to be a special guest. We're going to go riding tomorrow morning. He's bringing his bike over here. We're going to install some parts on his bikes, test them out. He's probably a little concerned that we're not going to be in the shop where it's at least 112 degrees right now. But we're in this nice air-conditioned plus well-lit studio, and we're here to help you answer your motorcycle questions. We have a lot of questions on our YouTube videos. Lots of videos up there. I have there's lots of new content. Stuff's been going up there because I actually got off my ass and did a little work. We didn't make Trevor do it because Trevor hasn't been doing crap. So Trevor Hunter, all he's thinking about is Vegas to Reno because he wants to beat that Brabeck character, that Ricky guy, Ricky Brabeck, who's riding with Skylar Howes. Pretty good team, I think. And if I were Trevor, I would start like winding up the excusatron on how he got beat because he wasn't on a factory Honda. That's just what I would do. He's just on some bike that he built with some buddies, and he can't even figure out how to put the foam grips on it. So he's trying to be a rally guy. Trevor thinks that putting foam grips on his bike is going to make his bike as good as the factory Honda, and I'm here to tell him it's probably not the case. So, welcome everybody. Got to ride this morning while it was cool. Rode the day before when it was cool. Did a couple little training things. It was pretty nice. And if you have questions, what you do is type them into the chat. We use this thing called Restream. It puts the chats from all the different things into one thing. You can see it scrolling up there on the screen. And I will answer those. And then we can also show you what is going on with the questions that we have. So here's our screen with our questions that we're going to be able to answer real soon. A lot of these are from our videos that we do. So we do a lot of different videos over there. They're up on the YouTubes. We post them up on Facebook. Or you can always go to www.dirtbiketest.com and view those. But like, subscribe. I hate to say it over and over again, but in this day and age, that really helps us out in one way or another. Because now we're getting to the point where a lot of the people that want to advertise, and by the way, this show is brought to you by Yamaha. See how I snuck that in there? Look, that logo's on there. Like, now I can make it go away, and we pretend like we're not a sponsored show, but I can turn it on, and then we're a sponsored show. Yamaha helps us out, helps us do what we do here, and all other sponsorship opportunities have run out. So lots of opportunity there if you want to get your product mentioned or have us say something. I just saw my co-host walk into the door, snuck into the shop. Hey, so never been here.
Never been here.
Never been here. You're going to just scroll around here, and you're going to come and sit in the hot seat over here.
Safety hazards there.
Yeah, oh, what do you work in the HR department or something like that?
Risk department.
Risk department. Welcome to the show, Casey Mccoy.
Uh-oh.
Dakar rider Casey Mccoy. Trail rider extraordinaire Casey McCoy. I've got some work for you.
Good.
Yeah, so we're gonna answer Answer question. Make sure the ringer's off on that sucker. You can put the headphones on if we have to. Then you can maybe hear me better. Oh, that's too loud. I'll turn that down a little bit.
Technology here.
Yeah, don't break anything.
You're sitting on the cord.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I could break my chair too. So, Casey, welcome to the show. Hopefully, all that clicking, clacking noise isn't going there. You're going to want to talk straight into the microphone. We have a live audience of 100,000 millions people right now, and they're asking questions.
It's because I'm not on there. I'm usually on there too, so it'd be one more.
Oh, but you're one of the silent ones because you very rarely ask questions.
That's right. I text you.
Oh, you text me the questions. You think you're going to get a special answer from me if you text it?
I'm not that technology.
You just whatever you're watching on, there's like a comment thing and you chat or something. I don't even know how to do it, but
I know.
Yeah, I just push the buttons around here. But so you think that if you texted me the answer, would you get a different answer from me than I would say right now?
No.
This is what I want people to know. This is kind of what I want people to know is like when you ask a question from you get the same answer, and a lot of times people go, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I go, "Watch the video we did," because I that's the reason I recorded the damn video and made that sort of thing, so it ends up working like that. So. Victor's telling me all the different kind of tequilas I should be drinking, which is normal, and then he'll start with the Mexican jokes next, and then he'll start talking about other bad things later on. Victor, I hope you're having tequila because the comments only get better. We're gonna go to Robert Pfister, who said thoughts on a weekend warrior running VPU 4.4. Is it really worth it? What do you all run in your bikes? Pump gas?
Always run pump gas.
I always run pump gas too. So that's what we run in our bikes. And what do I think about a weekend warrior running VPU 4.4? And frankly, I'm pretty sure that's a good fuel. And I'm pretty sure that if it has a name like that, it's U probably stands for unleaded, and 4.4 probably means something. It's designed for a very specific purpose. And if you need that much performance out of it, then maybe that's a good thing. I'm a little leery of a lot of the race fuels because they have additives in them that tend to be hard on the rubbers in the carburetors in the old days, in the fuel systems, even like in the petcocks. I've seen them degrade, that kind of stuff. So I know that the manufacturers design and develop their bikes with pump gas. They leave pump gas in it. They've been using it forever. I leave pump gas in my bikes, even ethanol pump gas, and I know the advantages and disadvantages of it, and some of it's good and some of it's bad. There's the two sides to every story, but I run pump gas, and so does Casey, and we probably ride a lot. Trevor Hunter, I don't know who that is. He says, but it's never the rider. Oh, I was bagging on him. I was saying that he's trying to put foam rally grips on his bike now, so you can see that I'm rubbing off on him. But it really wasn't me. He knows that Ricky and Skylar are going to have foam grips on their bike for Vegas to Reno. So
love foam grips.
Yeah, and they're probably one of the biggest. Well, I promise you, if you've never used them before, the first time you touch them, you go, "Those are for lawnmower handles." And I actually made them take them off my factory rally bike because I'm like, I ain't running those. And then 2 days later, I had them back on. So he says, it's always the bike. So foam grips will automatically make us 20 minutes faster in the end.
No.
So Toby Berger, local kid here, says, thanks for helping the other day. He still needs to troubleshoot his bike. So I don't even know where I was, and I got a text. And he said, hey, my bike broke. I'm out in the dry lake bed, and I think he was like looking for somebody to come and rescue him if it didn't work out that good. And so I kind of gave him a couple little diagnose this, try that, and he managed to make it home. So good on you, Toby. Glad you're safe. It's not good, Casey. It's not good to get stuck out on the trails when it's the temperature it is outside right now.
I'd recommend against it.
Yeah. So tomorrow we have to be careful.
We're back.
We
already looked at the temperatures. We're back by noon. We're good.
Exactly. Well, I want to say 10.
Okay, that looks better.
So yeah, a lot better. So the interesting thing is, like, you know how like daylight generally provides a timer for most people. Like they don't have a headlight or where they have to be back. Like right now we're up on this timer where it can get so stinking hot out here that if something goes wrong, you can't find, especially when you start coming down off the mountain or whatever, you can't find shade. You'd have to lay underneath your bike, which we've done before, by the way.
I think that happened to me once up in one of those trails in the mountains.
Oh, laid underneath your bike?
Well, I think we laid in a refrigerator when we got off the hill.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Who was worse, you or Ronnie?
I think I was pretty bad.
You were
that
bad.
day.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Pretty good heat stroke that day.
Yeah, we told the lady behind the counter to don't worry about the guy who was laying down with his head inside of the refrigerator.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm just don't worry, I'll pay for everything because you guys are drinking whatever you could.
Yep.
And you were literally laying on the floor with your head. You closed the door with your head in the refrigerator.
That was probably one of the worst days.
I forgot about that.
But we recovered quickly, and we're back on the trail the next morning.
Because we had to get back to to where we were going. I don't think I fully described what we were going to do that day. Like it was a lot of trail work, but we
were misled.
Did the day before? Did we work on the cabin? Did we dig piers or do something crazy like that?
That was the next time I came down. But at least we weren't riding at night that time.
Right.
I think Jamie Campbell was with us that night. I remember him not real happy with us.
He said bad words and he lost his hardcore trail riding license.
Yeah.
He's not allowed to cuss and he said bad words. So I was talking about the time we were out riding up by Tonopah and the lightning storm came in.
I was thinking about that the other day.
We were riding. This is an interesting one. Casey and I were riding across the valley, and there was thunder showers all around, and we were trying to dodge them. So we were kind of picking roads to miss the ones because it was pouring. And miss the lightning storms that were kind of generally right in front of them, right behind them. And we're like riding down the road, and I'm kind of getting shocked, like my kill button's going bad or something. I'm kind of getting electrocuted from my own motorcycle. And I notice as I touch my levers, I get it, and I take them off, and it's not bad. I touch my levers, I get it. And I'm kind of doing this, and we're riding along, and I look over at Casey, and he looks at me because he was having the exact same thing, and it was like, this is bad.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like 2 seconds later, big old lightning strike. Really close by. We both skidded, laid down on the ground in a ditch.
Yep.
Because we wanted to get the ditch was the lowest thing for 5 miles.
Full of water.
Well, no, it wasn't full yet. It was dry.
It was starting to run down
It was dry, but in 5 minutes, water started running down the ditch. But I remember that when we put our bikes in the side stand and like laid down in this ditch, and there's lightning strikes happening all around. But I felt like, okay, we're pretty good. And then I'm like, I jump up and I run over and I take my bike off the kickstand, shut the gas off, and lay it over on its side and run back in the ditch. And you're like, what about my bike? And I'm like, we're riding double, dude. I don't know. I'm not getting up anymore. So
that was a long range test on that rally bike. I think it was the 640 or something like that you had out there. And I remember you first got the camera out and go, this will be a fitting end to this bike. Getting hit by lightning.
Oh, if it got hit by lightning.
Yeah.
I wasn't very happy with that particular bike.
Yeah.
That was the vibrator.
Yeah,
that was the KTM 640. Yeah.
That was one of those trips.
So, anyways, good times. Hopefully we don't repeat any of this tomorrow. Chris B says foam grips for the win. And Reese Harris says, I just saw a Cove, spelled with a C, 450 rally. What's the Cove story? So it's... and I don't even know if nobody's corrected me yet on Cove or Cove. I mean, you don't really put a French accent on a Chinese brand, right?
It's always been Cove to me.
Cove, okay, yeah, that's the way I would say it too, especially when spelled with a C. That's so maybe he's trying to help me. He's probably helping me be a better, more knowledgeable person. What's the story? Chinese company, kind of breaking the mold a little bit with the perceptions, although it's coming, people. Like, when you have these CF Moto and these different companies and a lot of mainstream companies that have for a long time had products produced over in China and they're assembling them different places or Indonesia or Philippines, or it's, technology's spreading and people are producing stuff. They decided they want to sort of make their own bike, and it looked like a KTM knockoff. And if you look at the bike, everything is very similar to something else, but none of the things fit together. It's kind kind of a Honda chassis with a KTM bodywork on it, but it's all Cove. So that's the story. Yeah, and Toby had desert survival training, but it's no joke out there. This is true. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through all of our YouTube comments. I'm going to put these back up on the screen here. And these are the comments that you guys, when you watch our videos, do it. And I don't have time, really, to answer every single comment that comes in on the videos. I try to be a little active when the video is new, but these are all the ones I haven't responded on, and I'm going to answer. And something must have happened. Somebody must have shared our 2024 Honda Transalp 750 review video on a very popular forum, because all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, we're getting all these comments on it, and the video is probably 4 or 5 months old. So Jonah, I should make you say these. Can you read that screen very good?
Luckily, I can't see that good.
Oh, you can't? Do you want glasses? There's a set of glasses around here someplace that people joke with me. Joe Low Rocca 144 says it's the best bike for the price. You don't have a Tenere yet, do you?
No, I don't. But if there's one out there, I wouldn't mind riding one.
You know what I have that you need to ride is you need to ride the AJP, because you're a Husky 701 guy.
Got one. Oh,
you're not. You hate the bike like I do?
It's a good towel rack right now.
Oh boy. No, I don't. I love certain parts of that bike, but there's other stuff I just don't understand what it does. But so this,
for what I do, it doesn't work for me.
I have the same problem. Yeah. That's. So I have a Tenere. Yeah, you can ride my Tenere. Mm-hmm. Selling Yamahas all day long here in Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. Of course, this show is brought to you by Yamaha. That's why the logo is going to go up right now. So you can, if you're watching on YouTube as opposed to listening to this podcast, Yamaha has helped us out for a long time. And I do like the Tenere. So I will argue with you with Joa Roca is the best bike for the price, although you're entitled to your opinion. And at Istra70 says, and he's talking about our AJP. Speak of the devil there. You mentioned the old price. The Cove 450 Rally is $4,000 cheaper for a start. With Cove, with the standard ECU is making 45 horsepower, but you can upgrade it to 5560, and the AJP is making 60 horsepower unrestricted. And I'd be hard pressed to say that the bike we have is making 60 horsepower, but wow, that guy! Oh boy. Should I answer this call? You know what? I am.
Why not?
Why not? Chuck Son, you're live on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday.
Where is Taco Tuesday?
Are you on the compound?
Yes.
Okay, so you go down to my house. So you walk past the shop, buy the solar trailer there, and then walk into that door, and we'll bring you onto the show. There's, you know how I know you're going to get here?
You can hear the feet outside.
There's free beer.
Can you see me?
Yeah, no, there's free beer. You'll find it. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, we're gonna have a 500cc national champion on the show tonight.
He used to come up and ride in Bishop.
He's going riding with us tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yeah. So old Chuckles is an extreme enduro rider now.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So let's see if he'll sniff out the beer. I promise you. I know this guy. So anyhow. Let's see. Parts and alloys are not a problem with China. It's the AJP cost is more than a 501 and less than a 701. So I guess he's saying I'm wrong, but good for him. I like it when people correct me if I'm wrong. Chuck.
Oh, I thought you said literally. I'm actually looking for some chow.
Oh, you're literally looking for.
I didn't know this was.
It's dinner
Yeah,
time.
so come on in. We're gonna put you on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. Pull up a chair. There's a microphone. That one right there we can set you up with.
Okay.
Slide
Well,
in
I guess
here.
I can have a beer. It's like a sandwich in a can, right? So, hey, good to see you.
You
Awesome,
didn't think I was ready. It's even cold, which is kind of strange for me.
Yeah, not bad.
So did you sit down? Grab that chair right over there and sit down. Chuck Son, 500cc national champion, 1980 or 81?
80.
80.
Yep.
Yeah, on a CR480. It was a factory bike.
It was a factory bike. They didn't produce a 480 yet, but it was about that kind of size of bike. And there's a lot of stories about that. I talked to Dave Arnold about the sizes of the bikes. It was actually a 472 works bike, but that's cool.
Yeah, you're gonna have.
It's on. Hello, can you?
Yeah, you're gonna pull that sucker right up close to you, so because it's not the same. You got the little microphone.
Well, I got a big voice.
Awesome. So, did you go mountain bike riding?
I did, because I was nervous about coming down this time of year because I'm up in Oregon, Washington, and Idaho, and I'm in Vegas hanging with my peeps, and they said, "What are you doing here? It's the wrong time of year. It's 110 degrees. How can any human function in 110 degrees?" So I come
112 here, so that means 116 in Vegas today.
Yeah. So I go over the pass, and it's a balmy, cool, almost got to put a jacket on, 100. And so I jumped on my mountain bike, and I go down the hill part wheel and climb back up and just blow up a couple times and get some sweat going, and that's doing something, acclimating to the heat because, the race is next weekend. And
so Chuck is training for Vegas to Reno. So Trevor Hunter says he's going to smoke you, by the way. And he's putting.
Best of luck, Trevor. I really admire people that really set such lofty goals.
Yeah, he's not even 30 yet. Yeah, he's not even 30. You guys are doing 60, right?
60 plus. So yeah, we're going to be buried back in the pack a little bit, but it's like I say, I approach this as an organized, marked trail ride for 550 miles.
Yeah. So
it's going to be fun.
So Chuck and I were at Eric Krippa's celebration of life, and Eric Krippa was Chuck's mechanic.
Yep.
In the Husky days and in the Honda days.
Yep.
And
a lot of good stories and instrumental in getting me to where I was and some awesome experiences.
Yeah, and then I hitchhiked back here with you.
It was kind of strange because I thought you were just joking around, and then you hop into the van out of a perfectly good car with a lovely wife. I said, "Dude, what are you doing?" It's like, well,
yeah.
I need to bounce back to your neck of the woods. I said, "All right, good to go."
Yeah, it was just logistically, it was a good fit, and then we started talking about like you've now gone from just regular trail riding to, we'll call it, extreme enduro light.
That's a fair way to describe it.
Yeah,
I love the hard enduro thing, but I'm just not doing the pro line because pro lines are full send it.
Yep.
And if you don't make it, it's a disaster.
Yeah.
You can get hurt. But I really love the challenge of tough hard enduro, and so Dick calls me, and I'm hey, let's do this because it's on his bucket list, Vegas to Reno. And I'm saying, I'm kind of risking and scaring myself at 5 miles an hour. Now you want me to do it at 100 miles an hour.
It's a big change.
Why not?
So you may not know this, but Casey and I have a history of when we go trail riding, like it gets good. And I'm going to take you guys on our extreme enduro light trail ride tomorrow morning.
Well,
it's perfect, but on the way out there, there'll be like at least 3 to 5 miles where you'll feel like Vegas to Reno, and the rest of it won't.
That's fine.
That's plenty.
I can check off 3 to 5 miles.
We'll call that part practicing.
Well, the biggest challenge is getting up at 5. My lifestyle generally includes some of the folks that I hang out with going to bed around 5 in Vegas.
Right.
So
well, that's why we brought you out here. We thought
it's the challenge,
We'd preempt some of that. With getting you out here, that way you don't do the Vegas life. Like Pahrump kind of shuts down at 8. I thought you were going to start riding at 7. Is what I thought in the text, and you said you were going for a man ride, and that's why I couldn't go.
That self thing, that self-correcting.
Oh yeah,
it was MTN mountain. Anyway, yeah, and it was a man ride, and it is. apropos that you backed out.
Right. Okay, so we're running through our questions here because this is what the people demand of us here on this show. So we answer tech questions, Chuck. We answer 9 out of 10 without referring to a reference manual. When it's a reference manual, sometimes we use Jerry Bernardo's book, which is called Coffee Brewed with a Graveyard Mist. If you need to have some mediocre bad dreams tonight.
Well, I've read most of it.
Yeah.
and because I wanted to see what he did, and it's very creative of writing of his life experiences, and it's fantastic, and he's inspiring to me to finish some of my writing.
Would you like to read Poodle Venom for the fans? Poodle Venom, that's one of the stories here, or
okay.
maybe we could read Hostage for the. We have like a story time with Chuck. Story. You want to do it?
And monkey butt, yeah.
I have monkey butt here too. I told you. We were talking about that on the drive.
I read it as a tribute, and it's great history. But yeah, we can have a reading.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if I start dropping the ball here. But anyway, so we're supposed to answer these damn questions. User something on YouTube says, I have learned my lesson, and he's talking about our beta versus beta video where we rode the beta 300 race edition. I got corrected on this, or race replica. If it doesn't have KYB suspension, I won't buy the bike. I've learned my lesson. I was surprised. That's what I said in the video. Edward Westhead, he's talking about the KLX 300 versus CRF 300, where our esteemed colleagues rode it in the Big Bear Trail Ride. He says, nice job. I shouldn't read this because he's complimenting Trevor right now. There's a possibility I might buy my first ADV bike, and I'm thinking of the 300 Rally. You show that I will have plenty of time before I am better than the bike. Everybody says to upgrade the suspension, and that will be a wonderful time getting it. That will be a wonderful time getting to that good. Thanks for the encouragement. I tell people on those bikes, don't modify them. Like, CRF 300s and KLX 300s, because you're just chasing something that's going to get way more expensive than maybe riding the bike to its potential, and then when you're ready for it, move it up to the next
bike. Yep.
Next bike.
That's a fair statement. The Rycar used to make some pretty affordable components for KLR damping forks. For a couple $100, you drop in the inertia valve, and it turned it into an effective suspension.
Like race tech.
If you spend a small amount of money and time, but when you get back to ride it stock first, I'm a believer of that on anything, so you know where you're going. Okay, now you take it to an extent. Get good enough to where you want better, sell the bike and get another one, and that's a fair statement.
And those bikes tend to hold their value. They don't hold top value, but they hold a certain value and they never go down. And you can buy them used all day long for whatever that value is. But like companies like Racetech, they make springs and like little fork valve emulators, and you can make them a little bit better. But just don't start. When they start swapping triple clamps and putting forks off of other bikes on there, and like getting some guy to custom fab up a shock, it's like run away.
Yeah, you're chasing after a demon that never ends. Yeah.
Let's see. Gizmo Images says, hey, Jimmy, Rich Baker here. I used to work with him. He says, I worked with you in the 90s at Cycle World magazine. I'm thinking of getting this bike just for short trips in the mountains and occasional dirt. Rich, I hate to sound like a shill for my sponsors, but I like to suggest the Yamaha Tenere. The T7 might be the most ideal bike. And if you want to sponsor the show too, I can shove sponsor plugs in like that. But this is actually genuine and honest. I would have told him, I would say if if you have the opportunity to ride, and a lot of times there's demo rides with all the adventure bikes, go ride all the different bikes because they're so different. And you might have your kind of head set on something and you can ride something that's a little bit different. Soils Mana ADV 6673. He's talking about our beta comparison. My 21 300R is everything I need. What I loved the most was the beta comes with switchgear from the factory, so making it street legal just took a set of blinkers. The remainder of the wiring switches are already on the two-stroke from the factory, so I could ride fire roads and trail connector tarmac. Well, that's you definitely can't do that with a KTM. Like, they don't come with a wiring harness. So that's good for some people. Back to the Big Bear Trail Ride. Cheers. At 27:05, says Kevin, I'm 300. I can only suggest a bit wider skid plate for the oil filter cover. I didn't watch the video that closely, but he must have hit a rock. Jim Rat 88 says he's talking about our beta video. Nice comparison. Plain terminology, clearly explaining the differences. Thank you. And Mako over the flex bars. Made that switch after a quick stop on the BRP setup. And by BRP, I think he's talking about the man, did he have BRP and then flex bars? That's what I run on most of my bikes, because I usually run the whole Scott setup. So it's Scott's damper, BRP mount, flex bars on top. And he says the Mako is the way to go. And this is one thing that I'm testing tomorrow. I have the Mako 360 on the bike. I'm gonna ride the Beta 300 tomorrow. That's why I will just probably dominate over you guys. It won't have anything to do with riding ability. It'll be 100% the bike, I guess. That's what they say. The fast foot pegs are a nice upgrade too. So we talked about that in our beta video, but I'm still doing further testing as we do here. And Garrett Coleman, J8J, says, where did you get the maps for the Tour of Idaho? My dad and I are going, but it's hard to find good maps. Martin stopped doing that. He stopped officiating the Tour of Idaho. Because it was like you would get challenge points and they would watch you do it. But I believe his website, Motorcycle Jazz, is where it was called Motorcycle Jazz was where you would go to.
Butler mats, I think, maybe.
Butler had a printed version for a while, but you needed to be able to, and he wouldn't give you track logs. He would only give you waypoints. And then you'd have to go use the maps to figure out where to go, because he didn't want to make it easy.
On that note, go to Bill Dart. He made some of the only maps and designating the difficulty of all the trails in Idaho.
Yeah.
And so they can augment your Tour of Idaho choices.
Yeah.
It helps with
Overlaying
the
those
sections up there, but for the whole tour, you need
have
that
to have
Butler.
that route.
Yeah.
But then you can offset it and choose some very fun trails.
Yeah.
Sometimes
they're going to be too difficult, and he outlines it.
Idaho has an awesome online tool that actually shows trail
They have a really good
difficulty and whether they've been maintained or cleared.
Depends on the forest.
Yeah.
I know one forest up by my place, and they're really good about posting what's open and closed. It's not for the whole state, and then there's also another site that has pretty much all the trails in Idaho that you can download.
Yeah. I think most Forest Services do like Avenza maps and stuff like that will have a trail system. But I will warn you that if they're not, like you're talking about, leveled for difficulty, and there's a lot of trails that are pretty much one way. There's trails that haven't been cleared. There's trails that are bridges are washed out, and you get 40 miles in, and then it's like you got to turn around and go back, and hopefully you have.
Depending on the season, everybody that I know carries a saw.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of downfall.
Yeah.
And so have that capability at all times, because a storm can blow up. We've gone in and decided to go back and have to cut out.
Yeah, cut your way back out. Yeah, because the wind.
Monster trap. So having one of the crew have a saw is good. And Dart has saw mounts.
Saw mounts, yeah.
I'm quite a sales pitch for Bill Dart.
Yeah.
He's a great ambassador.
He gave you a free saw mount. Did you get a free one?
Admittedly, I wanted to pay him, or tried to pay him. He wouldn't allow it.
Yeah,
So,
just check. Anyway, so there's and I'm a big proponent of, like, I don't really talk about where I ride, the specifics or the locations and things like that. I do go out and work on trails, and if somebody goes out and shows me, or I go and get invited to a really bitchin' trail network, I'm the last person to tell you where that is, because you need to find that. And if I go there it was usually I'm invited back for taking them in some place where I ride that was really bitching, or I've gone out there and worked, and I really, it's like this pay it forward or pay it back when you get to use it. You know, like Chuck was saying, carry a chainsaw, you know, do your clearing, you know, spend a day in an area working, go to one of these state rides where they have, you know, join a club that's doing trail maintenance, all this stuff. Big proponent of that stuff.
It's really addictive to see those wood chips fly. Give me that saw. Give me that saw.
Brand new saw with a new chain.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Colin Box 34. Oh, this is my wife calling. Let's bring my wife on the show.
Oh, Heather.
Heather Lewis, welcome to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. You have a question for the show?
Sorry.
Oh, what? You're sorry?
No.
This show is sorry.
I will hang up.
Oh, you're going to hang up? No, do you have a motorcycle or motorcycle product related question?
No.
No?
Yeah, what color is the orange one?
Well, no. Which she
Well, it could be red, white, or
no. We jokingly say, you know, it's like, which one are you gonna ride? I'll just ride the orange one. Heather, you need to change that to the blue one. You know why?
Oh, because I like blue. Although blue ones they're too jerky.
No,
Heather.
Yamaha sponsors this show. We're trying to go down an ad read here. Yeah, but they're too jerky for you.
Yamaha.
Oh, okay.
And I will tell the truth of what I feel about the bikes, but
Sound like your husband there.
Yamaha,
Yeah.
the best thing about the Yamaha is that you can make a map to fix that issue.
Oh yeah.
So then that makes it easier for me to ride it.
Mm-hmm. Power tuner app. I used that on my WR450 this morning. I have two different maps in there when I wanted.
You fixed me a power tuner app. You fixed it so I can have a nice, smooth ride on
The blue
Yamaha,
one.
So.
The blue one.
Yeah, the blue one.
Got it. Okay, well, I'm going to let you get back to harassing other people on the phone besides your husband who's trying to do a show. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't believe I left my ringer on. But that's
See you later.
okay. Bye. Heather Lewis on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday tonight. Let's see. What did Colin Box 3472 says racing KYP says KYP suspension sucks on the trail in my honest opinion. Good in the MX obviously, but everyone different. But everyone I ride with thinks the same. Okay. I was going to say, now we have one person that loves KYB and one person that hates it.
I rode with KYBs recently on the Stark.
Yep.
And it was a gas, but they were a little bit too stiff for me. And then I'll transition into it doesn't matter what kind of forks they are, because I'm close to suspension people.
Yeah.
Because as a motocross guy, it's good to have your best buddy a suspension guy.
Yeah.
And that's Dick's Racing.
Yeah.
So anything can be set up to be good if you explain to them what you want to do, your weight, your speed, and everything, truthfully, and you can dial it in. But if we're talking about basic, standard, out of the crate suspension, KYB has a very, very good reputation. But to judge the brand based on how it's set up just might not be for you the setup, but it can be set up. So don't throw the
brand underneath the
baby out
underneath
the
suspension.
Yeah. Is that appropriate? I don't know.
I just see somebody on the chat there, but this is our very first sponsor, Nate from Delaney Drive to Components. So
Really?
shout out to Nate. We always have the sprocket here on the set in case I need. Well, if I don't like you, it's
Is that steel?
the stainless steel. These are
those are
Oh yeah.
they're the best.
the best.
Yeah,
Absolutely. You need to run those.
You'll never have to.
Is that for a Husky?
It's for
I
KTM.
got a 52.
So you have one of the white ones
Yeah.
with WP suspension on it.
But this is it's a 50. I could use that.
No, you can't.
Maybe I should test it.
No, that's a prop on the stage. I'll talk to Nate. I'll see if I can get you sponsored. I know the guy.
I like steel. They last a long time for off-road.
Yeah,
Those last
And
forever.
it
Yeah.
acts as a flywheel weight because it's a little heavier.
It's heavier than the like full aluminum ones, but you never have to replace it, and I don't like to do that. So, yeah, chainsaw to ride, Nate says. So he's down with the cause. Actually, that's one of the things is they do support land use issues. That's one of the good things about DDC, and they have, like I said, incredible durability. Go to ddcracing.net for your sprocket needs, and I need him to make ones for Teneres. He doesn't have that yet, but he said when the demand comes up. So if you
What
have
size of chain do they have on the Tenere?
it's the
530?
525.
525 or 530. It's the bigger one.
Well,
Same
it's a-
like I think it's like the KTM. You know,
Well, I mean, I'm just asking what
Yeah.
it is.
I don't know. I haven't had to replace
Isn't
it.
this
I got
tech
525,
talk? Yeah. I don't want.
We might have to refer to the reference manual.
Yeah.
Yeah. So somebody else says I bought the race edition. Asked my suspension tuner to revalve it for my use. Now it's way better, and it's also way better than the Sachs. So see,
There you go.
There you
Tune
go.
it for what you're doing. Awesome.
Right.
Good job.
Somebody calls Big Bear Gay Bear. That's good. Cluster 86. Nice comment. But hey, it all helps with the algorithms. So, Fishing Leprechaun 5839. He's talking about the all-wheel drive adventure bike. He says, I'm not sure if other people make all-wheel drive dirt bikes, but I know a big company who makes them is Christini. Well, big company's kind of an overstatement. Actually, I talked to Steve. He's going to start making a TW200 size, like a lowered with this 450 platform, lowered, wider, bigger, fatter wheels, all-wheel drive bike.
I see them out in Idaho hunting all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, on tough trails, and they get around pretty good on those things.
Yeah. I have an old CRF 250 one, and then the adventure bike he's talking about in this video. It's still in my shop. It's broken. I mean, that was my job, was to break it, you know, because they were doing durability testing on some of the drive change stuff, and so I broke it a bunch. And then he just got sick of making parts for it, and the manufacturers were looking at doing it. If that technology goes any place, it needs to be on an adventure bike. And it needs to be offered just like a four-wheel drive truck, where you don't drive around in four-wheel drive all the time, but when it's time to use it, you just turn it on, and it makes a huge difference, especially in sand and things like this. So, and Nate's happy to see you. You probably give him a call. He might be able to take care of your sprocket needs. There's a reason why you can't have that one, because it's my prop.
Well,
So
it's nothing like a used prop. Make it look better.
right.
And it's shiny too. It'll look good on my KTM Husky wheels.
Yeah. What is Dick running on your race bike?
You know, I don't know. I don't know.
You're still a factory rider. At your advanced age, you just expect to show up and hop on a factory bike?
Dick was just complaining to me. Yep, I'm just doing all the work here in the shop. You know, getting it all ready.
And you're
Thanks,
out
bro.
you're out mountain biking, going dirt bike riding.
Well, it's my preparation.
Right. Yeah, they're leaning on you for that.
I'm looking forward to getting up at 4:30 in the morning tomorrow, truly. And because I won't be awake until we get back, and see if I can function and survive.
Well,
riding first thing in the morning like that.
You're going to start at like 5:30 in Vegas to Reno. So this is training.
You know, we've mixed that up. It's be determined, and I don't know if Dick was too happy about the way I broached that. It's like, why would you squander speed by having me start? Because I'm not gonna jump out like a rabbit, because the first 50 miles of a 600-mile race, you can certainly lose it.
You're in all dust too.
You're not going to win it.
At 5:30 in the morning
I'm just going to ride and bring it in. That's a waste of speed. Dick, you should start. And he didn't quite take it the right way, but he said, I'll start because I'm solid. I can get going in the morning. So we've switched it up a little bit. There's been a number of discussions like
if you would have just been honest with them and said, I'd like to stay up in Tonopah, hit the bars up there on Thursday night, wake up at 10 when you come rolling through, and I'll be just like normal, ready to roll.
About that. The last time we raced, somehow I got lured into an all-nighter. And he didn't know if I was going to show up. So when he came in to hand it off, there I was.
Yeah.
And we won the race. It was another Best in the Desert. So he knows I have a history, but that was a long time ago. It was like 5 years ago. And so now they've sequestered me, and I won't be able to do anything. I'm going to be corralled in.
Well, they let you come out to Pahrump. That's not a good idea.
Well, we're going to be out in Pahrump, but I'm going to have chaperone. Maybe you could hook me up here.
Right. Do you like tequila, Chuck?
Actually, that's my health drink.
Okay. So tonight we're drinking Hotel California.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. It's a reposado. We're gonna try. This is kind of an unknown. Okay. I mean, I know I have had it before, but this is what we're gonna try tonight.
My buddy Perry drinks Casanoble. That's the big bus.
Right, but you see what I got over here, because this is a known good thing. This one here. So I'm gonna go in here to get the white on the. This is the Hotel California. It's a fancy bottle. It's named after that hotel that's in down in what's the name of the place? Todos Santos down in Baja California. Even though they don't make that there.
Could you talk to your sponsors about getting a case of that?
I'm working on a tequila sponsor here. I might be one of these short. Maybe Chuck could run around over to the side there. There's one right by the
shots?
other. There's a little glass. You're allowed to have any of this, Casey? Your wife's not watching, right?
She's not watching.
Okay. She's not a TikTok Taco Tuesday fan. Okay, back to the questions. So, somebody says, and I'll grab the thing there. So, somebody else can do the pouring. You can pour it right on top of my. Chuck, look at this. You got one of these, a Hall of Fame plaque. Yeah. We'll use that.
Actually, I don't.
You're in this. I've
been there, but I haven't actually done that.
Oh,
I feel bad because I got something going on, but
I'll take care of that.
He's a wonderful
Gene
organization.
Woods.
Gene does a great job, and it's a great party, and it's a good time. But it hits at a weird time of year for me because I'm always bouncing. But anyway, I'm good on. Did it cost you much to get on in there? Or?
Oh, I had to buddy around with Jerry Bernardo for a little while to get abducted into that Hall of Fame. So Garrett Tactical says, nice timing, Jimmy. I'm buying a new Beta within the next 30 days, having a very hard time deciding between the 200 and the 300. Have you ridden the Beta 200? Anybody?
That's a big gap. I'm going to tell you something.
3 years ago.
About Dirtastic and Kaylin. She's always been on a 300. She just switched to a 200, and she absolutely loves it. And by the way, Kaylin rides all the tough stuff that we do, and she loves, and she's adapted to the power delivery. It's got enough torque. She loves the lighter weight. It's sweet. I'm a component for lighter weight. 300. I mean, unless you're an older person, you're ready to, acquiesce to your age and have a big. I call the 300s are kind of the gung gung gung. They're not very exciting. So lean to the 200 if you can.
So I'm going to get a little farther into. They're saying your mic's a little light, and I've noticed that on the thing. So you got to gargle that.
I got to yell louder.
Microphone. Just get like you're a rock star. You're gonna have to rock star that thing. So I'll get a little deeper into this question, and I'll tell you why. Because if you want to know more about that, Garrett, we do have a video on the Beta 200. We did a test of it. It's been a couple of years now, and you said you'd ridden it, Casey.
Yeah, you'd brought it up to. We rode it in the Whites a few years ago.
That's right. So we did it at high altitude.
It was high altitude. We were 9,000 feet, 10,000 feet. Yep.
So he says in the standard RR or race edition, not race replica. So I must have called it the Beta in the video. I must have called it race replica. So I'm again getting corrected here. I feel like the 300 could be too much power for me, mid-range and up. But I love the bottom end lug of a 300. Can I reduce the mid to top end power output by turning in the power valve adjuster? By the way, I trail ride only, 53 years old, 6 feet, 200 pounds, upper novice to low intermediate skill level, I think. So we'll give him that. I always try to keep speeds down and wheels on the ground because I don't heel up good anymore. So So the first question is 200 versus 300. At 200 pounds, you're right at the point where your weight is going to adversely affect the ability of 200 to be a good bike for you. If you're 180 and below, I have no problem, because it just sometimes when you have that extra 20 or 30 pounds on you and you start rolling the throttle on, it just doesn't pick up. It doesn't go. So I would, at the 200 pound weight, I would say go with the 300 just on this, because you can always tune it down. And guess what? Your wrist goes both ways. And on the 200, your wrist is going to have to be a lot deeper into the throttle to make it do what you want it to do, especially trail riding.
Just crank down the power valve. You know, the trails that we ride in Idaho, we never see the main jet at all.
Right.
You know, and that's not the type of riding it is. And if you crank down the power valve, tighten it up, it's not going to hit. And betas are tuned in a way that they deliver the power really good. It's something with their flywheel. They have a really nice low-end power delivery. You can pull a taller gear, and you'll be able to do that at your weight of 200 pounds.
Yeah. So in Adam Coffee, here's where the peanut gallery comes in. It says, get the 300 RR standard. He says, you'll love it based on how you say you ride. Beta motors are smooth and the power is linear and very controllable. I run the green power valve spring. It's funny, I have switched out power valve springs on mine. I just don't know the colors. And when I do the kind of final wrap-up test on the bike, I will talk about that. I'll try to figure out what color it is. If I were buying in the near future, I'd look into the X Pro model. So Beta just introduced their 2025s. They have something called an X Pro, which is like they made a race edition for trail riders, which is kind of brilliant marketing. It's kind of like KTM does their Erzberg edition, where it's just flashy stuff. Beta actually added some real different components to it that looks pretty good. And they start talking about the power valve springs. Anyways. Okay. Jamie 7890. Why is everybody like a number? I bought a standard R. It is a drawback for the hair scrambles in XC racing. I bought a standard R. Is it a drawback for hair scrambles in XC racing? I only ride track for training, but do not race MX. So he's got one, and now he's asking me whether he bought the wrong bike.
I think you have to tell us that. I mean, go and open that thing up. Can you use all the power? I think it would be enough.
Well, the motors are kind of the same. The difference is you go from a single spark on the standard to the twin spark, and I was blown away by the extra throttle response. And it's just every time, no matter where you are in the power, and every time you turn the throttle, the way it responded was, and this is I talk about in the video, it's not like it gives it more snap, it gives it more response. So it actually smooths the bike out, but it pulls better, kind of like fuel injection does.
Sure.
What year is your 300, Chuck?
I'm riding a 250.
Oh, 250. Oh, that's right.
And it's a 22.
So you're TBI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, TPI.
TPI. Oh, TPI. 22.
Which worked well. Before that, I made a 300 KTM, and I put a 36, not a Mccoy, but I put a 36 key in on it.
Oh, Casey, you're supposed to work on this. I want like this much. Just a taste sample.
Faking it.
Well, Chuck's training, so he's just doing a taste sample. You remember how you were sipping the bourbons the other night?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're doing here. This isn't like, squirt some lime in your eye and pour salt in your hair and then
we
shot
have
it.
Responsibilities and drive to do, so it was just tasting.
Right. So, so had I not ridden recently the Kayaba suspended race edition, I would have said, no, I think you're fine on the RR. But like I said in the video, I think it's a $400 price difference. The suspension is that much better. It's way better.
I ride with a really good rider. His name's Pete, and he rides an RR, which is a race edition, not the bike you would choose for the trail.
They're all RRs. It's a 300 RR is the bike, but they have a race edition. They have RR standard and RR race edition. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's the motocross bike, and it's amazing how well he rides and the power delivery on tough stuff.
I'll talk while you guys are busy. See how that is, and we'll give a
That's
report.
pretty smooth.
Yeah, I don't buy the hooch stuff there.
That's good. I might have to try another snap in just a little bit.
Well, we're gonna compare it to something a little bit different. But the trick is, so I have a bottle of this other stuff that Johnny Campbell poured out, and it's got a little tricky this little thing. It's like a step up in a trail, and you can really screw up on the step up. You can loop out
a little hard on it, huh?
So it's a really expensive bottle. I couldn't believe the giant stain that Johnny Campbell left on this table of. Like such, I wanted to snort the tequila off the table after he poured that. It was that bad. So I don't know. I think they're both good. I would take out my standard beta right now and race it in a second at a hare scrambles, at a cross country. I guarantee you that once you go to a track and once you're really jumping, that's where the Kayaba stuff would probably, just because it damps just that little bit better, so it might not use the stroke so much, and then you're going to get less feedback from the ground. That $400 difference is made up in the suspension, and maybe I could take it to a guy, but once you take suspension to somebody and they start doing that kind of stuff, it's definitely going to be more than $400. So that's my question.
Especially if you got to get into springs.
Well, that's parts.
It gets up closer to 800, maybe 1,000.
Yeah, because fork springs are 150 and a shock spring's 150, so you're looking at $300 in springs, things like that. WSL on the beta says, "I'll go with the standard." He says, "Thanks for sharing the differences. Although if the YZ250, by the way, Blue Crew, best bike, YZ250X had a button, I'd buy one."
Oh, yeah.
If they had a 300 with a button, I think a lot of people would buy one. But
you never see Kickstarters in hard enduro because it's insane.
Yeah. Looking forward to the feedback on the handlebars and the foot pegs. That's the only reason I'm going riding tomorrow, is so I can test that thing. I'm not going riding to hang out with you guys or anything. I'm solely here for the cause.
Was it anti-vibration foot pegs?
Yeah. The Fasst Company ones.
They're an issue because, the long rides, you get this buzz.
On the betas.
And on many bikes, and it hurts your feet.
Does yours buzz?
My feet are flying off the pegs so much that I don't really notice it, But
What do you think on your 300? So Casey has a 300, 300 two-stroke.
I don't feel any buzz, but I'd like to try the Fast House pegs on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Fasst Company, Flex,
Company.
yeah.
Flex, yeah.
They are also so all of our sponsors, their contracts have run out. So this is I'm getting some equity here by talking about. So I'm testing the Mako stuff, not a sponsor, and Fasst Company stuff, a sponsor. And I'm literally going out there, and I will tell you exactly how each of them work. I actually helped with the early Mako mounts when he was developing elastomers for it and stuff. And at the end, when we were all done with it, I still preferred the flex handlebars for a couple different reasons. And after riding the bike that I have now, it's like even from where I left it off when they were doing that, they've improved it a bunch. They've made little changes to it, especially in the elastomers, where I'm pretty impressed. So we'll figure stuff out. I had an opinion before I started riding it, and my opinion is changing a little bit on just how they perform. So that's why I do this kind of stuff, and that's why I'm glad that the sponsors I have understand, the sponsors or partners that we have with Dirt Bike Test understand that we try these different things to try things, and they know I'll tell it like it is when it's all said and done. And when I'm doing this, the only reason I know how something works is because I've tried the other stuff, and I've tested different things. But I know I have personal preferences, and my personal preferences may not be your personal preferences. And like everybody's opinion is valid, but it doesn't make it good or bad.
Well, I need to look into some kind of vibration issues at my age and the tough things that we ride. For my wrists, but I've resisted it, honestly, because it seems like that extra movement, being a moto guy, if you got to tug on the bar an extra inch to move the front wheel, that seems counterintuitive. But I know things have gotten pretty well, and I can't speak to the anti-vibration. The closest thing I've come to that is the vibrator that Ridecore used to have, and
Right.
it worked pretty good.
The bars have. I got to where I couldn't even. At the end of a 6-day ride, I couldn't even close my wrist, and the sooner they put the bars on, night and day.
Well, that's something.
Especially
to
in the stuff you're riding in Idaho, the rocks, the tree roots and stuff. I know what you're saying about when you pull up, you don't want things moving, but you can fix that with the elastomers.
And even yesterday when he was looking at my bars, like I don't like the weight.
Yeah.
And those are. I remember the very
night and day.
very first time that I went to. The very first time I went to the intro and stuff like that. That's what everybody was complaining about was the weight. They're like, oh, these things are heavy,
But can they really feel it? I mean, I'm just saying it from a perspective that the weight up high doesn't make sense. But having not tried it, I can't really say that is a deterrent in slow speed off-road where you get hammered all the time.
Yeah, I it's the difference between me riding 2 days in a row, and not. I mean, that's just.
Well, that's meaningful, right there.
And I'm from what I can tell from the I would say limited. I've got like 2 days riding the on the Mako now. It's the same. It doesn't like my hands do not hurt after riding that bike, so pretty good. Let's see. There's a company that makes a kit for the YZ250X, but for $1,000 more. But the Beta is a better bike in my opinion, says Joseph Bullard 1358. What do you think Joseph owns? A Beta?
Maybe.
Elijah Prince says, guys, is this even possible? Talking about the Christini all-wheel drive adventure bike. Yes, it's possible. Very possible. 450cc off-road comparison with Jimmy Lewis, opinions and rankings. Mike King says, I use a 250FX off-road enduro, and the G2 throttle tamer is a must night and day. So I must have complained about the throttle response or something
Of 250F.
of one of the bikes in the 450 off-road comparison.
Oh.
It's been so long that I forgot which one.
Well, I can tell you, I rode the 250. What model is it for off-road in Yamaha?
The YZ250FX.
The FX. And there is down low, because of the fuel injection, it's very jumpy. And it was very, very troublesome.
Because it has so much power, Chuck.
No, it
It's a
it was
Yamaha.
like a switch on-off.
Okay, Casey,
And
next job.
I was a little
This is
surprised
a test, though, isn't it?
that made it through R&D. The solution was don't ever shut it off, leave it above that, and use your clutch.
Yeah.
And it works fine. It's a great bike, and I'm just saying.
No, you can
that's
say
why
you can
that's-
say bad things about it.
That's why they have a fix for it. Well, it's a fun bike, but they have a fix for it. You know.
So the good thing is you can power tune it. You can
And
use
it's a problem.
You can use the power tuner app for it. Well, it's a high strung race 250F. I actually
for
ride.
off-road, dude, they got to know what they're doing and what they're building it for. I mean, it's high-strung, but you don't want to be high-strung on the edge of a cliff that you're going to leap off because thing's jumpy.
Yeah.
I mean, we ride in gnarly stuff.
So I ride the WR, not the FX. So I actually, which is a little more tame.
Okay.
The throttle cam's the same stuff, like a tuning inside the thing, and then I play with the tuner as well to make it that way. But most 250F 4-strokes are not great, like hardcore trail riding bikes.
They're really motocross bikes.
That are- right.
Bandied up with an 18 and go have fun. And by the way, good on them because that's what we used to ride the trails with, our motocross bikes.
Right.
And so it's come a long way.
Do you know how anti riding a motocross bike on the trails I am? Like now the bikes have become so good, and people are like, oh, I'm just, they're a whole full on trail rider, and like, I'm buying a Sierra 450, and you're like, no, don't.
But if you want to ride Honda, that's what they offer.
Well, they have an X, they have a Sierra 450X.
Isn't that a road bike?
Well, they have an L.
Oh, sorry.
So they have all the things, but I mean, still, even
I've never seen one on the hard enduro stuff that we're doing.
No,
I mean,
no.
they'd be so gnarly. They're heavy. But
What do you see?
I love
300
them.
You only see 300
302
or 250s.
strokes. Yeah.
Yeah, or 250
Yeah, 250s.
for the guys that like a little livelier
Right.
performance, And I'll take a snap.
Oh, you have to tell me how this one is in comparison. Somebody's
Sweeter immediately.
Yep. Somebody is telling me people are using a 5,000 watt transformer that you can convert a normal 110 power outlet to the 220 volt charger on the KTM Freeride EXC. They sell them on Amazon for $130. You know what that means? Your house or your motorcycle is going to catch on fire, likely both of them. That's adventure continues again. Your adventure might go up in flames at that. I had to, when we got that bike, I was probably the only journalist that actually tested it for more than one battery because it's a really weird plug. It's like kind of maybe it's some normal plug in California, right? Because they probably have extra standards there. You live there, it probably have extra standards. Like I had to go find this plug, which is hard to do, and then wire it into my panel to be able to recharge that bike. And that's why I must have complained about it. And so he's telling me how to fix it or light my house on fire. Mr. Dubo 171 thinks that Trevor and they should ride matching 200 TW 200s next time in the Big Bear Trail ride. Okay, good for that. What kind of boots you wear, Chuck?
I wear Forma because they have waterproof stuff for the springtime when I ride, and they're great. And they got a real beefy motocross boot when I'm going high speed and hitting stuff. And been wearing those guys for a while.
So you're saying you dab in the rivers a lot?
Well, you don't have to go into a river because, just a couple of weeks ago it rained and the bushes, the water bushes is gnarly. I know that's something you don't see much down here in 100 degrees. I ride both. I love the desert.
Yeah.
Some people don't ride down here. They come back down here. Nope, I ride the Northwest. That's the stuff I like. I like to ride anywhere.
Right.
I love it all. But early spring riding, when you get into snow, creeks, and water, it's nice to have a waterproof boot, and they have it, and that's awesome.
And so, even when I have a waterproof boot, it's the water that gets on your pants and runs down your pant leg.
Well, you have that.
Okay.
And by the way, I have some photos and. Like, I've been into the drink a lot. Uh-huh. Underwater, submerged with my helmet. And I'm looking up, and I'm seeing the shadow of my friend. How come he's not helping me? What's going on? And when I finally bubbled to the surface, he was just grabbing his phone so he could take a photo of me drowning. And I said, thanks a lot. And,
hey, but your feet were dry, right?
Well,
as long as you're moving.
At that point. But I'm not really a fan of. But you're crossing rivers all the time if you want to ride the Northwest, and that's a real reality. And know how to do it. Let it run because those rocks get so slimy and slippery.
Yeah.
And they can go any which way and drop it. I've taken spark plugs out, watered it out, saw friends of mine water out in a mosquito.
I've never done that ever before.
Creek and go caribou crazy because the mosquitoes drove them crazy.
Occasionally there's beaver dams that get in the way too.
I've never ridden down a trail that was kind of the edge of a beaver dam.
And submerged.
It was
not being proper.
been like in a ride where Casey had us staying out in the middle of nowhere with no support, and then it was enough that it also sucked in the transmission, and I had white transmission fluid.
I was trying to think of that last night. Did you ride the next? Did we change it that night, or
no? We couldn't change it. Yeah, we didn't have it. It was so far to go out to get oil. I said screw it, and it wasn't a problem. It's still oil. It's got a little water in there. It's not gonna. It's overnight. It's not gonna hurt it. But I'll tell you what happened. So the next day we went. We had a long uphill, and it was something where you had to use your clutch a lot. Mm-hmm. Guess what happens to that white oil in a two-stroke when you're doing that? It steams.
It gets hot, foams. The water bubbles out.
Water boils out. It makes steam. It goes up into your power valve, and it starts pressurizing your cylinder with water vapor. Yeah, and the bike really runs like crap. I mean, I couldn't figure out. I'm like, oh, what's wrong with this bike? And it was the water in the oil was boiling, and because the power valve chamber is on the old mechanical. The electric one, it'd be interesting to see what happened to electric power valve when you drown the bike out.
Oh, we'll have to test that.
Yeah, tomorrow maybe we'll see if we can find we'll pee on it or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, so I know this. I've never ridden in the.
I recall at an enduro cross, the one water crossing they had, you had fallen in it, and I was thinking.
Oh, I remember that.
That's exactly the reason I'm not doing an enduro cross. I want them to remember me.
It's on video, Jimmy.
Yeah.
As a champion. Now they're going to remember Jimmy floating around in the water, his helmet's under the water. I said, "Oh my God!" But it was entertaining. It was great.
That was my Was it? There was the qualifying lap. I think
it was.
It was the qualifying. It was the qualifying lap, and I knew that if I jumped that thing, I knew for sure I could be way up there. Yeah. And I sent it, and it didn't work out very well.
in the pool.
There's a picture. There was somebody made a bumper sticker out of it, and it was stuck on my motorhome, and they thought I'd be pissed off, and I just left it there. But yeah, with my feet up in the air off the side of the thing. Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
Water crossing.
Water crossing. So I was asking, what kind of boots do you wear?
Tech 7.
Tech 7, so you're Alpine Stars.
Yep.
And I typically wear CDs, and the reason I'm bringing this up is Meter07 is talking about my CD Crossfire 3 video. He says, I have a couple pairs of the CF2s, Crossfire 2s, non-SRS. Very safe and comfortable. Have saved my ankle from complete destruction in a sole accident, even though I still displaced it 10 millimeters, broken my fibula. Hiked a few miles to, well, blah, blah, blah. Okay, where are we getting to the point here? They're a bit narrower than the other models. Apparently, the SRSs are even more so. So this is correct. This is the part I wanted to get to. Is the standard, the non-replaceable sole in the CDs tend to be a little bit wider than the SRS sole. Let's see. Feet are the most exposed, highest risk body part while riding. Why not protect them properly? Try living a normal day without the use of your feet. I'm going to argue with him. I think my head is more important than my feet.
If your head doesn't work, your feet don't move.
Yep.
So the two most important pieces of equipment are helmets and boots.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and I stole that quote from our buddy from Arai Helmets, who's now retired.
Right. Oh, Bruce Porter.
Bruce Porter. Yeah. I mean, he's classic, great man. It was so awesome.
He used to just. He'd just look at somebody and he'd go, medium oval, medium round, medium. He could look at someone's head, and he really helped me understand a lot about helmets. And even in fact, when we did a helmet comparison at Dirt Rider magazine back in the day, and I don't know if he was still heard a bike start up. I'm always curious when I hear a bike start up. I'm like, is that mine? Arai was very curious about what we were kind of up to when we were doing this helmet test, and it was really, we were just trying to figure out which were the safest helmets. Are there any characteristics of helmets that made them safer? And just like we're talking about with this CD boot, we talk about it in the video. If the boot doesn't fit you, you don't want to wear it because you're going to be uncomfortable. And the same thing with the helmet. And with the helmet, if the helmet doesn't fit you, it's not going to work. It is good. You have to have a proper fitting head form. So your head needs to fit in the helmet, or it can be kind of ugly. So Jeff Sweeney says, please link the video. Which video? Were we talking about a video?
I believe that was you and jumping into the water.
Oh yeah, you think I have? Here, let me ask my producer sitting right over to my right. Hey, can you link that video? Hold on a second. No. Okay, don't have the help to do that, so do that. Jason Abbott's listening. He's going to show me some Can-Ams. Can-Am's getting back into dirt bikes, Chuck.
Really?
That's so awesome.
Electric.
Oh, I have seen that.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I won't discount that. But,
they're starting with the adventure side, but they're not forgetting their history.
I love the Can-Am thing. I love the Jimmy Ellis story. I looked up to Jimmy Ellis when I first started riding, and the Can-Am guys, and it was one of the deals that was offered me when I had no deal, no factory ride, and then won Mid-Ohio and went from obscurity to a chance at a factory ride. And Jeff Smith, former world champion that ran Can-Am, gave me a call, and it was such an honor to speak to him. And they have a great history. And they've got great technological, abilities to do a good job with the electrics.
Yeah,
so.
it's coming. Electric is, there's haters and stuff like that. It's coming, and they're looking at like it as a mobility platform and all kinds of stuff. But they're building all that stuff like in house, and it's interesting to kind of see what they're up to. And we'll definitely go ride their adventure bike and see what it's all about. And I like to ride almost everything. So not dirt bikes, electric motorcycles. He keeps reminding me on-road motorcycles. Yeah, it's adventure bikes. So I'm just getting excited. And more dirt bikes. They got to make. You know what they got to make? They got to make some kids bikes. Like a little. You got to start there. Like when KTM was making all the big bikes, and then all of a sudden made a Pee-wee, a 50cc thing. Now you have kids that have grown up riding nothing but KTMs.
Right.
And you got to think about 20 years in the future. Where are we going to be? Maybe we're all riding, and maybe we're not riding anymore at all. I don't know. So, Flying Brian has a question. It says, "Hey Chuck, good to see you. I did the 1,000 with you through Chris Haynes. Flying Brian 529."
Oh, awesome! It was great riding with Chris. He was always very wary of motocross riders because they'd reach for too much and crash out. I have some great stories and great memories with Chris Haynes and Baja.
Right.
Good to hear.
Randy Cox. This is obviously a paid post. It says he's talking about the KX450 that Scott Hoffman did. He says, "Great stuff, dudes. I think every bike owner should be en route to make their bike their own version of an SR, which is the Kawasaki. SR was the designation when Kawasaki had a works bike. And Scott Hoffman just did a video where he took his 24 Kawasaki KX450 and basically put some cool parts on it and stuff. So if you want to listen to one of us read a script on a video, and you can hear him turning the pages, and you should make comments about that on the video. So we give him crap all the time, and don't say anything bad about any of the videos I do, only the ones that Scott does or Trevor. Thank you for making that post. But Randy, what did Scott pay you to say that? That's what I want to know. Let's see. Chris O'Nett 360 is talking about the CD boot. Damn, your 3 months of riding equals 7 years of my riding. I said that in the video. I said I probably ride more in 3 months than you do in 7 years. That was just a blanket statement. Roughly correct? Casey?
Easily correct. Unfortunately.
I bought a pair.
Look to change that.
Yeah. He bought a pair of CD boots in 08, the best pair he's ever owned. Beacho something or other. Beam Cho whatever. I have them, and I love them. They actually feel like you're wearing a cast. The sole does not flex. After these, all other boots feel flimsy and not nearly as protective. I feel naked in other boots. He's basically kind of what I said, sort of.
Well, on that note, I will ride some of the adventure boots and some of the more technical things, because keep in mind,
okay, I was going to ask you. So you
riders will use a very small leather slipper, if you will,
right. Mm-hmm.
And if you go back to Jody Weisel, using his old High Point boots, there is a better feel. Now, everybody's forgotten about that. They just trust the big, beefy boot, but there is a feel you get, and you can ride better. But you have to know what you're riding with.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you are not going to get quite the protection.
I just got a pair of
if you gather one up.
Yeah.
So
I got some trial boots, and I was thinking about taking those up to Idaho and trying it, but you do have to be wary of what you're
but now
getting
there's a
into up there.
cleaner.
How many toes do you have, Chuck?
Yeah.
Well, they're still
I've
there,
still
but
got
they're
all
all
mine.
jacked up.
Yeah. So
They're all jacked up from Carlsbad
Right.
because they come off and you hit these blue groove steps at 40 miles an hour. It just destroyed my feet years ago. But that's the price you pay.
My toes out in Red Mountain, California. I could show you the wash and the rock where my toe
Oh, yeah.
left the building. So I do err on the side. And I mean, I used to ride the Cal Poly Enduro. Remember that? It was all on side hills, side cut hills, and there's always rocks. And you ride in those side hill trails where stumps are sticking out. My wife dislocated her toe, and luckily we've always kind of worn, good boots. And every time I scrub a rock or a log and it just squeezes, I'm kind of going glad. And I do have a lot of adventure boots. And I'm the opposite. I wear my Moto boots on my adventure bike because my feet, that way I can stand wherever I want in the foot pegs and the sole's stiff and it's not that I need the protection on the adventure bike. It's just that I can put my feet in weird places and my boot I can have a lazy foot and the exoskeleton of the boot, where I understand about the feel for the trail riding and stuff, but I think I'm just weighing the options. I'm like, I want the boot to work when it really needs to work, and I don't care about the rest of the time.
There's a lot of stuff out there that can hurt you, as
I could see
we
a
call
big
from a few years ago. Yeah.
I could see a big beefy motocross boot leveraging around a monster adventure bike. Yeah.
Well, it's like even when I'm just riding down the road, I can kind of put my toe on the foot peg with my feet back, and for some reason it just kind of holds my foot together. I don't know, but I've just so then if and when I'm riding on the dirt on an adventure bike, I'm always standing up, and I run bigger, wider foot pegs on my adventure bikes as well. But when you start standing up on, when I stand up on my, I have a pair of CD, I have a pair of Climb, I have a pair of Alpine Star adventure boots. And even when I ride my adventure bike and I stand up for 20 or 30 minutes at a time, and you start going through washboards and stuff, my feet are going, stop it. So that means I'm a pussy.
Well, there's a tweener boot, something a little bit better. That's what I use with Forma.
Right. So, anyways, let's see. We're kind of getting to the end of the questions tonight. If you have any questions for Chuck or Casey here, so we definitely need to go back to the source, right, and find out which one is better.
They were both good. I prefer the red bottle.
The Hotel California is beating Clase Azul. Wow. Okay, let's.
I
Casey,
don't quite like
back to work.
Back to work.
The other one's a little bit more sweet.
Yeah.
On a single shot, maybe that would be good.
Hey, Mike Kamet says, my feet are as wide as a hobbit's. Forma's fit for me.
Nice.
Do you have hobbit feet, Chuck?
It's one of the first books I rode when I was a kid.
Road or red? Yeah, red.
No, red.
Yeah.
I have hobbit feet. They're not flat though.
Let's see. Brian Martindale 2221 says, I sure wish CD boots fit me because I have slobber knocked the living daylights out of their tight fitting, and they're not real comfortable mountain bike shoes for many decades. Do their mountain bikes shoes, are they tight?
I've never used a CD mountain bike shoe.
No.
Yeah.
I've killed a few pairs, but they do not die easily. I mean, we love Italian food, so why can't we love the American foot?
It's funny about that because they've always the big promotion is they get replaceable soles,
Right.
Yeah.
and I kind of run with the fact that by the time your soles wear out, the rest of it's jacked. So why replace the sole and the rest of the boot's jacked? So now you think you have protection with a new sole, but the rest of it's all worn out. So why even do it? By the way, the screws are all jacked up, and now this is you're
bringing valid points. I'm going to argue with you, but you're bringing valid points.
Yeah.
Go ahead, keep going.
That's coming from somebody that gets free boots, but I mean,
yeah,
I appreciate that, but I swear, I mean, maybe it's value, but do you really get the protection of a clapped out boot and putting a new foundation on it?
The CD boots don't break down they're hinged, so the whole ankle, kind of structure and everything.
Forma's got a double hinge as well.
Yeah, but it seems like the CD is so I'll call it plastic. It doesn't have that leather or whatever material they're using. That part doesn't break down, and all of the contact points are pretty much replaceable. the worst thing you can do is wear the sole out and then wear the frame of the sole out. And the old one with when it had like 8 screws was kind of a pain in the ass to replace the sole. Now they're down to 4. And yeah, sometimes if you let it go, you have to take a grinder and actually cut that slot back in there to take the quarter turn thing out. And I think we have a video someplace on dirtbiketest.com that shows, it's a video or a tutorial on how to replace the soles. And I think it might have been on the older one. Okay. I'm still running. You go look at my gear room, and there's 20 pairs of boots. Some of them like the old ones that I can still throw on and use. And like the shell of the boot, I actually wear the boot out in the ankle, like from grinding and hanging on. So my other boot, some of the other ones that I have, so I have Alpine Stars and I have Garnets and stuff that I've spent a lot of time in, and I have worn out the shell of the boot on those things, and some of them have some replaceable parts. I think the Tech. No, I think you can send the Alpine Stars back in, and they have a service that will kind of refurbish it, resole. And there's guys that resole stuff, but it really depends on how much you ride. And I like I said in the video, it's like you want to wear what's A, comfortable, and B, is protective to the level that you expect.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So that's kind of. And if you have a fat foot, you're kind of out of luck with the CD. J Wills 4 says, so I hear the new 24 model with the TBI motor has much more low-end torque. This is a question for you, Casey. Oh, no, he's talking about the 150. Would you suggest it would be a good bike for somebody like myself transitioning from a CRF 250F for trail riding? That's the putt-putt bike.
Right.
That's not the race one. Not doing anything gnarly, but I like a good trail bike that I can just have fun on, and the Honda is good for that, but the suspension is lackluster, so I'm just looking to go up to the next level and not break the bank. He's asking about the 24 KTM 150 XCW. Have you ridden the 150 KTM?
A lot.
Oh, okay. So is it torquier?
My friend's got the 150 Husky. And
so same bike, by the way, basically
stuff, and they hunker down pretty well. But there's not a lot of excitement there, to be honest with you. I mean, it doesn't have the big bang, but we had good riders on the bike, and they came through fine. I rode a 150 SX one season up there, and it was surprising how you could lug the bike down a little bit. It's been my dream to build a 150 because I think off-road bikes need to be lighter. So the benefit is always it's a lighter feeling bike. And I think that's a huge positive for off-road. But you might find it a little lacking on the
But he's coming off a Honda trail bike like the CRF 250F.
Yeah, but that's not a bad bike. The 250.
Oh, but it goes
torquey, but you got to let it squeal to really get the power out of it.
No, we're talking about the
250F.
The F, not the 250X.
Oh, the
like
F.
kind of like the 230. Remember the 230?
Yeah.
So now they have a 250.
It's air cooled.
So it's
Air cooled.
yeah,
The air cooled one. So that's a huge jump. I mean, everything. It's not going to have the chug torque. Like, when you lug it down.
Well, they do a little bit. They're surprising. And, you can do a few things, uncork the air box and loosen up the power valve and maybe do something with the exhaust and gear the bike down a little bit. And they're a great bike.
Okay.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, so I think he's going to be happy. So Chris K. Aloha. Chris K. Aloha says, the new bike, and he's talking about the 300 KTM, feels like a Harley compared to the 21 to 23 models. The front end feels like it weighs 800 pounds. Okay, this question is for you, Casey.
It does feel heavier. I mean, in the front end, it feels like to me it rides higher. And I've only had 4 or 5 rides on it right now, so I think getting the suspension set on it is critical for depending on what you're riding in. But I felt it didn't turn as well as the 20 to 22 version. 20.
So I agree with him. It got heavier in the steering, like the actual the steering effort that it takes through the bars got heavier.
Yeah.
And for sure that bike is. I remember being kind of picky about ride height.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you have too much spring preload and it's putting weight on the front, then it really puts weight on the front.
It will, and I don't think I've got the ride height set properly on it yet. I actually ended up softening it up quite a bit, and that helped. Some of the stuff I was riding in, but yeah, it felt clunkier and just not as nimble as the earlier version.
Yeah, I want to say it felt. When I kind of just come in, and I'm mostly on a 19 KTM 300, so I'm going for a big jump because I know there was a big jump like kind of 19 to 20. There was it definitely kind of spiced up. We'll say spiced up the handling, and some people thought they went too far, and I describe it in the video, and you have to watch that video where I start talking about exactly what it was because I was riding all these bikes back to back, but kind of what I remember is that it got heavier in the steering, which sort of made it like for some people that put weight in the handlebars feel more stable. But if it's not a really stable bike. It kind of for me, if you're steering it through the foot pegs, it's still pretty. I don't want to call it twitchy or unstable. It's just very lively. It was like I would call it fake stability, but it's not bad.
No, I thought it was comfortable actually, and just depending on where and the speed, and the tighter stuff up in Idaho and the rocks and stuff, I felt it felt heavier, but it is to me it felt stable.
Yeah. And it is heavier, especially on the scale.
Downhill through ruts and stuff, and going over trees, I felt more comfortable on it.
Yeah, like I said, I remember kind of like really, we sat there after doing the back-to-back, and I'm still supposed to, that's what we're going to do tomorrow, is after we put the gas tank and stuff on, we're put some parts on Casey's bike, and we're going to go ride it back-to-back with the Beta so I can remember what all the stuff that I said, so I can kind of talk to the different things. But when we talk about the bikes individually, I remember kind of, because people were complaining about stuff about the chassis. Part of it was like they were talking about stiffness, and that for me it was either the front or the back, and I don't remember. One part of that bike felt really stiff. You know how when you feel a bike that has a stiff kind of like behind the foot peg sort of feeling? Don't know what that it's the swing arm not pivoting. And I know we played around with different torque settings on the swing arm, which made a big difference. Torque settings on the engine mounts made a difference on that bike. So there's lots of little things that you can do to kind of get out of that. But yeah, that's where we're at. Okay. Anything else? Any closing thoughts there, Chuck?
I'm looking forward to getting up early and riding tomorrow.
Yeah. It's John Ross's birthday. He's 35, and it's a good year, he says. So happy birthday to John Ross. I'm going to put this back up here. You can go over to Dirt Bike Test. This is our website. dirtbiketest.com, and I'm trying to adjust some things up on the screen here so you can see the whole thing. There we go. We have KX Kawasaki stuff, Beta stuff, KTM. See, there's the test. 24 Beta versus the 24 KTM. Of course, you got to see the Climb ad. Climb, they helped me out a little bit. One of my favorite things. They made special Dakar gear for you, didn't they, Casey?
Yeah, we were the first ones wearing it that year.
Yeah. Of course, Yamaha. We have Is It Good? First review of the Triumph 250 motocross bike. You can always support us by shopping through our Rocky Mountain ATV MC links.
It's fun running into Dave Arnold, who was so instrumental with Honda. A lot of people don't know this, but he's been consulting with Triumph for a couple of years now.
And you can tell.
And yeah, it's a big difference.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was talking to him a little bit about this at the thing, and it was that bike, and I said, talk about this in the test. It's like one of the bikes where you can really feel like the chassis tells you what the wheels are doing, and that's a Dave Arnold thing. I mean, and when you talk to him, he's like, I wish I could have got in there earlier, and I wish I could have done more, and there's more to do. He's never happy. He said he was never happy even when he was building the works bikes at Honda, that we're winning everything.
That's a good mechanic.
Still.
Good tech guy for sure.
Yeah. So go check out dirtbiketest.com. Follow us on the webs, the socials, all the different things. We appreciate that. It's time for us to go have dinner, and no more tequila, Chuck, because you got to get up pretty early.
Oh, maybe one more snap.
One more. Okay. Next time we'll get Casey to talk a little bit more. Yeah. We'll tell stories about horrible trail rides that we took each other on.
Trail rides,
Yeah.
the abuse, and maybe get Ronnie out here to figure out.
Oh yeah. You just want to pick on your brother. Yeah. He sends
He's
me
actually said he's going to ride with me next week up in Idaho.
Yeah, well,
he should come with us.
He came into the class. He got a lot better. I know he picked up because he's a moto guy.
He was a moto.
He was one of my moto test riders back in the day, and now he's getting into this stuff. But he's still on a 500 though, right?
Got to get him off the 500 if he's going to do what we're doing.
I'll let him borrow 300 if he's just
So
going
when
to
you
go
were
for a
riding
little
in
while.
Idaho, I just drained out of there. I was up at Stanley Zone.
I got 300.
Yeah, you were riding Stanley Zone. And
No, I was over on the other side, on the west side, McCall.
Okay, we're gonna quit this show because you guys.
I don't want to tell secrets there.
It's so general. I mean,
yeah. If you're gonna go ride where these guys are talking about, bring your chainsaw.
Yeah.
Hey, with that, everybody, we will
Definitely chainsaws were
Hey,
needed.
thanks for joining in. We will see you out in the trail, everybody. See ya.
Cheers.
If you liked what you saw in this video, come check us out over at dirtbiketest.com on the webs. We have bike tests, product tests, a lot of fresh dirt, and you can even support us by clicking through our links. Hopefully, we'll see you out in the trail.